Hey everybody, I'm Luca Paris, and our culinary journey takes you to France. That's right, the wonderful wines of George de Boeuf, the bistro feel of onion soup, of Mussels, Mouliere, and Cocovan. These are all, I have to say, okay, so you can't say Cocovan when I go, Cocovan. So that's just about it. We have some great, amazing food. I have an amazing guest. He's going to talk me through the wines and help me drink all the wines. And we might even cook a little while we're having wine. So we have some great things. And Cocovan, Mussels Mouliere, French onion soup. The soup has a little bit of twist I think you'll really like. So your culinary journey starts now. Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Luca Paris, and you're on a culinary journey to France. Bistro-style food, amazing, amazing stuff going on. And I'm here with Bob, the wine guy. That's where I'm going, Bob.
Bob the wine guy works very well, but to my public, I'm known as Bob Sheely from W.J. Deutsch & Sons.
There you go. See, that's why I didn't say all that. He's Bob the wine guy right now. But Bob brought in some great wines from George de Boeuf. We're going to get to talk about that. And I figured we pair that with some bistro food. Where else to go?
Yep.
Right?
Bistro food and bistro wines, perfect pairing.
Awesome.
These wines are not all from George de Boeuf, but certainly he is the majority of them. Yep.
He's the man. So we'll talk about that. We'll actually talk about something cool we're doing with you. And we'll come out in November. Is it November?
November.
Thursday.
It's the we're doing it the Sunday before Thanksgiving.
Right.
I think it's the 21st is the date, and we're going to be helping to celebrate the launch of Beaujolais Nouveau, which is available the fourth Thursday of every November. And we'll be using Nouveau along with some of the basically cru wines, which you'll see up here, as well as some of the wines from the Mâconnais region. And I just saw the menu about a minute ago, and I can't wait.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And we're not making any of that stuff today.
No.
But that is really exciting. So what we need to do, so French onion soup is an undertaking in the next 22 minutes, and so is the Cocovan. Those are some really great ingredients. We'll talk a little bit more, or really great preparations. We'll talk a little bit more about the history of some of them in a little bit. But we got to start cooking to get going.
Okay.
Right? So what I need you to
Put me to work.
I need you to cut some onions for me.
Okay.
All right? We'll both cut one, make it happen. Bob, you got the bigger knife. It's my show.
Well, I had this knife here, which is really good for fending off hoodlums, but not good for cutting onions.
All right, I'll have this one. He picks the biggest knife. Everyone that comes on always takes my knife away. Anyway, I got these great Wusthof knives that are perfect for doing this. So we're just going to cut up. You know what I want? You know how I want them cut? Julienne?
How large? Oh, Julienne?
As large as you want to make them.
Okay. Like the size of your thumbnail?
Sounds great.
Okay.
All right. Okay, that's great. Make them a little thinner.
Okay.
Like that. How's that?
That's perfect.
All right. That's perfect. Thank you. So we're making onion soup. Now, onion soup, the first thing you need to know about doing onion soup is the caramelizing of the onions. That's the very first thing you want to do. So we're going to get some oil in the pan, a nice hot pan. We're using these all-clad pans that are absolutely perfect to make onion soup. And we're going to get our onions in there, and we need to caramelize them. Now, by caramelizing, basically what we're doing is we're going to let, here, can I get?
How's that, Chef?
That's good. Let's keep these straight instead of broken down.
Okay.
All right? We'll throw those in there too, because I like them like this too. I keep them nice and big.
So, for the record, that's bigger than a thumbnail.
Yeah. Well, it's the long part. There you go.
So like this.
There you go.
Okay.
Just a julienne. Perfect. So now, caramelizing, there's different things. You could sweat a vegetable, which is basically not affecting the color and just bringing flavor into it. Absolutely perfect. Then, okay, we'll stop there. That's all we need. I needed more of my stuff than your stuff. Hey guys, while you're offset, you want to throw me a napkin, a rag?
I'm going to get fired on my first day on the set.
Let's see. This is how we do it. If you have one of those at home, They just throw you things like that. Here you go. That's for you. All right. So, but going back to caramelizing. Caramelizing, we're basically letting it really, the sugars to come out and just really create this great flavor. And it's absolutely wonderful. What I'm adding to it, a little salt and pepper, and then an Ariosto blend of spices that we use. And then I'm going to add whole thyme in there too. I'm not going to let them, I'm not going to touch. I want them to get this dark brown. And then I'll get in there and kind of move them around a little bit. We're going to add some sugar. In this other pan, one of the most important things we have to get going is our Cocovan. Now, Cocovan, can you grab the chicken for me?
Yes, please.
Awesome. Thank you. You're the best.
And those are the thighs, correct?
The chicken thighs, yep. Cocovan is basically made the traditional way. It's a 4-day process made with old rooster. And basically what they did was, you remember, you know the story about Cocovan?
I think they would, I don't know the story you're referring to, but it was a good way of using a rooster that wasn't good for anything else, really. So.
And that's exactly it. Once the rooster was done doing its rooster duties, which you all know what that is, right? They basically had to get rid of it. And then the wives knew how to get rid of it. They said, well, we're going to stew it for a long time. Now, roosters, just by their nature, they're older, and they've been around a long time, so their connective tissue is really tight. And so we need to break that down. So what they do is they marinate it for a couple of days in the red wine, and then they cook it down, and they braise it for a long time. Now, try and go to your supermarket today and find a rooster.
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen. Even stewing hens, you're not going to find. Those are about year-old hens that are, after they're done laying eggs, they're available. If you are near a local place, you might be able to find them. But you're not going to find them generally at the supermarket. So the next best thing, thighs and legs. They're a little more connective tissue, a lot of flavor, and it's my favorite part of the chicken anyway. So I'm keeping all that fat on. So.
And this is really how a lot of the great dishes that were made, by necessity, correct?
Oh yeah, exactly.
You had to find a way to use
some oil in there.
Use a part of the animal, or maybe even older animal, and that's how you get those nice braised dishes.
Most of the best dishes are those peasant dishes. Now remember, these are all, they never let anything go to waste. Now especially the French, don't let anything go to waste. You use every part of anything. Even the Italians, some of their old preparations of food, everything from older horses or cattle.
Horses? We didn't talk about this before I came on.
We don't want to even get into that.
Is that the next show?
That's the next show. I don't think I could do that.
I don't have any good wines to pair with horse meat.
No?
Sorry about
that. You never know. You should try.
All
right. So let's take a look. We're going to braise about half of the chicken, and we'll do the rest later. We'll take a look at what we have here. So now let's talk about wines a little bit while this is braising.
Sure.
And this is caramelizing. So let me move this around a little bit. We're going to add a little sugar. I call that, so you got to remember, I mean, these dishes, again, classic, take a long time. Yep. Not everybody has that kind of time.
Exactly, especially these days.
So what we need to do is kind of help things along. So that way when your kids come home, or your wife comes home, or your husband comes home, they're basically ready. So we're kind of condensing first the Cocovan into maybe a half-hour cooking time total. Yep. And we're going to do the same thing with the onion soup. But to help caramelize the onion soup, we're actually going to add some sugar to it.
A little accelerant.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. It's fuel to the fire. So we're going to just leave that in there. We'll see how that comes out. We're going to add a bay leaf to that too. Let's talk about some of the wines you've got while I'm searing away.
Basically what we have today is all wines from France. The first 5 wines are all made by George Dubouf, who's known as the King of Beaujolais. And the first wine on my left, your right, is a wine called Patch Block. This is sort of a New World interpretation on Vin de Pays, Chardonnay. Vin de Pays is that area of France in the southern region. To my knowledge, it is the largest region under vine. And this is sort of a New World take on a basic Vin de Pays Chardonnay. By basic New World, I mean it's a little more fruit. It does see some oak aging. And notice that it is done in a Stevlin enclosure. This keeps the wine pretty fresh.
Done in a what?
It's called a
screw cap.
Stevlin enclosure. You say screw cap, I say Stevlin.
Okay, this is a screw cap. But that's more and more available. Those are more and more prominent with
any stigma at all attached to the screw cap or Stevlin enclosure has gone away in the past 8 to 10 years or so. And wine guys like me love them because I never fear of pulling a cork out and having it be damaged or moldy or ripping apart. And bartenders love them, restaurants love them.
Oh, they're great. No. Now, and does it hold cold wine better?
There's a little bit of debate out there in terms of like an age-worthy wine. Like, would you buy a wine like a great Bordeaux and lay it down for 30 years in a Stevlin enclosure? That debate hasn't really been answered yet. But for everyday drinking wines that you're gonna buy and drink for the next 2 to 3 years, Stevlin enclosure is perfect.
Awesome.
Yep.
So let's go back a little bit to this. Hey, what do you think we try some of this?
Yes.
You know where the glasses are, right? All right. So I got my onions caramelizing over here. Does everybody smell that? It smells good? Yeah, we got our onions caramelizing right there, and I'm searing my chicken. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the chicken out, and we're going to start adding our mushrooms and other items. But we're going to take a quick little break. We'll come back. When we come back, we'll be drinking wine. Most of that bottle will be gone. And if you want to help out, you can help out too. But and when we come back, we're going to finish off the Cocovan. We're going to finish off the onion soup, let them braise, and then we're going to make mussels. Don't go away. We'll be right back. This show is too much fun. Welcome back, everybody. Cheers. I'm here with Bob, and we're going to be talking about wine and, of course, bistro food. So, is it yummy?
Very good.
This is the one with the...
A little bit of oak, a little bit of what's called
screw cap.
malolactic fermentation. Yep,
cap.
it comes in a screw cap.
What's it called?
Stevlin. Stevlin. Stevlin.
Screw cap. Oh, that's really nice. Let me get back to cooking because then, that's actually the best part about cooking with wine is the drinking of it while you're there. So I'm going to get some things going right here, Bob, and then you can show everybody. If you could take a look at the onions real quick, I'm going to show everybody. See how they're nice and caramelizing? So what I need to add to that is a little sherry wine. Where's my sherry wine? Do you know where it is?
It's
in there?
Not in the fridge.
It's right behind me. That one. Oh, I love my life. So I'm going to put a little sherry wine in here and kind of let that reduce. And then I'm going to need the little demi-glaze.
Yes.
Now, onion soup is all about a beef stock, right? So what I do is I want to kind of move this up a little faster again. We're going to use a demi-glaze. It's a veal stock that's reduced down to almost its thickest essence. And we're going to add that to the soup too. And that's going to give us a ton of flavor right in the soup. So we have real simple ingredients. We have the sherry, we have the beef stock, or the in this case the demi-glaze, and then we also have the onions, a bay leaf, and some thyme. We're going to let that reduce. That's all we really need to do that. On this side, for my Cocovan, what I need to do is add a couple of things. Right. First is our fat to this. Now you could do this starting from the beginning. You don't have to use any oil. I like to add it in a little later. We have salt pork, we have pancetta, we have bacon. If you can't get salt pork, a lot of people substitute bacon, but remember, bacon is smoked and not cured. Salt pork is basically looks like the bacon, but it's cured. And sometimes you could find it where it's all fat, and that's really yummy. So if you can't find it, try and find pancetta. And in some cases, use prosciutto. That works well too, because they're both, again, cured and you don't bring in that smoky flavor. But we're going to cut some lardons of bacon, which is basically strips or matchstick size, and we're going to get that into there. Again, as much flavor as possible. And that's what, again, what they did with that Cocovan recipe. It's all about flavor, and that's what you had to get in there. So we'll get those in, get those searing. We're going to cut up some button mushrooms. While I cut up the mushrooms...
I think while we're on break, someone must have came and drank your wine, because I'm going to refill it a little bit for you. One of my favorite wines...
No, that was me.
Puy Foussé. Puy Foussé is basically South Burgundy, northern Macronais wine. It is 100% Chardonnay. It does see some oak, but not overly oaked, not overly buttered like some of the wines I would refer to as basically New World wines. Great food wines. What I love about food wine pairings, you don't need to be too scientific about the best wine with the best food. It's really drink what you like with the food you like, and you'll come to find those pairings that you really love. But good food makes good wine taste better, and good wine makes good food taste better. So it's a great pairing.
And if you have enough wine before you eat the food, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, it tastes even better. So a little bit of
cheers.
A little bit of Puy Foussé.
Oh, that's absolutely yummy. That might even go well with our mussels.
There's a lot of citrus in that wine.
Yeah.
So when you don't over oak a wine, you let the fruit come through. So you get a lot of pear, apple, citrus, a little bit of actually a little almost like an almond nutty note as well.
That's all, yeah, that is absolutely excellent. So now what I have in here in this dish that we're making our Cocovan is the actual sauce or the stew that we're making. I have the lardons in there of the salt pork. We have the mushrooms. I did portobello and then some button mushrooms. We need some big, heavy mushrooms. Don't use things like shiitake or anything too thin because they'll break apart. because we do need to braise this for a while. Added in a little garlic and my pearl onions. Those are your basic ingredients. We might want to add in some herbs.
It smells fantastic, Chef.
Doesn't that come out nice?
Yeah.
And then we're going to get the herbs in there. Now here's where the best part about this whole
Is
thing
that rosemary or sage?
That's thyme.
Thyme. Okay.
And we'll use some parsley last. I use what I call my Ariosto seasoning. It's a blend of seasonings that I put together. It's 15 different herbs and spices, dry herbs and spices.
Yeah, I got 16 when I was counting, but I'll
You
take
did.
your word, 15. Yeah.
And then what we're going to do is going to put a little red wine in there. Okay, cooking with wine.
Yes.
I don't know about some of these wines you don't want to cook with because they're great to cook with.
Yeah.
But you might not want to waste
Not
them.
very cost effective, we'll put it that way.
Exactly.
But you never want to cook with a wine you wouldn't drink.
Exactly. So what I've chosen is this, this little known name brand of wine that I'm accustomed to using, and it's great for cooking and very nice for drinking. So we're going to use that in there.
And if I catch any of you using cooking wine, I'm going to hunt you down.
And we need to put a good amount in there because what we need to do is now use that as our, in this case, braising liquid. So now we're going to get our chicken back in. We're going to let
Does
that
it matter
cook
how you put that in, fat side down? Or?
Oh, I like to put the fat side down,
Okay.
and when in the case of thighs, it's all fat. So that's
Okay.
the best part. Get those chicken juices in there, and we're good to go. So now we're going to get this on high. We're going to braise that down. We have our soup cooking down. All right, so we got wine, we got soup, we got that. Let's see, am I missing anything? No. Let's check out our soup real quick to show you what that's doing. That's kind of cooking down really nicely. And we got that going. We got the chicken braising down. What's the next wine that we want to talk about?
The next two wines are actually Cru Beaujolais. Cru Beaujolais is from the northern Beaujolais region. It's all Gamay grapes. There are 10 crus up in northern Beaujolais, and some of these come from very small properties. And what I love about Beaujolais is it goes with almost any food you can imagine. Spice, savory, and you can give them a little chill. You wouldn't want to drink them cold, but I would say go home, put it in the refrigerator for maybe half an hour, bring it down to about 60 degrees, 55 degrees, and the way the wine is made, it's a process called carbonic maceration, which I won't go into now, but that allows you to, just cook. That allows you to give the wine a little chill. It drinks almost like a young, fleshy Pinot Noir would drink. So if you go to any bistro in Paris and you order a glass of red wine, more likely than not, you're probably going to get a glass of Beaujolais Village or Cru Beaujolais. This is from the Fleury Cru, one of my favorite crus.
So if you get lost with all the wine talk, it's really, really yummy. That's what we say at the restaurant. So
and these aren't even available yet. These are actually going to be available in the market in about 2 weeks, but I brought them in early to give Luca a sneak preview.
nice.
So any bistro food is fantastic. Anything fried with some spice, anything with garlic, onions, broth, really almost any food you can imagine.
Did he just tell me to just cook? Did anybody hear that? I heard
That's
that.
going to be edited out.
Well, okay, so let's get our last dish going for this, for what we're doing. Now, what's great about what we're preparing is that it can all be done ahead of time. It's not something that when you had your friends and family over, you're going to be over the stove, talking to him like we're talking to you right now, and you're standing there and you're like, "Whoa, this is so good! I can't wait for it." You wouldn't have to wait because once you braise the chicken and the sauce reduces down, once you see the finishing, it's something you could pop in the oven last minute just to warm up. Absolutely wonderful. But the one thing you will make that day of is the mussels Mouliere, which is basically really simple. We're just going to take some shallots, some mussels, and what's the best wine to go with that? Do you think it's that original Chardonnay, or do you think?
When you're talking about food and wine pairings, it's not all about the protein. It's really about how it's cooked. So if you could help me out here with the mussels Mouliere.
Basically, I'm taking a little bit of oil,
Okay.
some shallots.
Yep.
We're going to take the mussels themselves, again, some fresh herbs,
Okay.
and just a touch of lemon juice. Now, Mouliere traditionally doesn't get lemon juice. I just have a hard time putting my mussels without lemon juice.
So if
that's
you
it.
have that acid in there from the lemon juice, I would definitely recommend the Pouilly Poussé to go with that. That green apple, the citrus notes will pair very well with that dish.
All right, so mussels, one of the easiest things in the world to cook. Also, I'll show you a little cool way to eat mussels without a fork if you forgot your fork at any point in time. So we get the mussels in there. We're going to season them heavily with salt and pepper. Now, it might seem like a lot, but remember, the mussels are inside, and really I'm just coating the outside and creating the sauce with it. And so we have our shallots, we have our mussels, and we're just going to let those kind of steam in there. Take a little bit of white wine, add it to this. can you grab me the lemon juice from the refrigerator? And then we're going to add a touch of lemon juice. I'm going to finish it off with, and the butter, please. And we'll finish it off with some butter. So what we're going to do.
Use butter in your cooking?
Yeah, a little bit. Some people will be amazed at how much butter and cream are used in any type of cuisine, but especially in restaurants.
But also, if you're home making a dish, you only need about a half a cup of wine or a cup of wine. Definitely use what you're going to have.
Yeah, exactly.
Have with the meal. So
use heavy cream, use butter, use whatever you like. So we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to let the chicken reduce. We're going to finish off the soup. I'm going to get that on low, and we're going to add a couple of ingredients to soup that you don't normally think about. My mussels are steaming. Just a little bit of butter.
Just a little bit.
Just a touch.
Just for color.
And then we'll get some fresh herbs on there too. So don't go away. We'll be right back and finish this all up. Whew. Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Luca.
Bob the wine guy.
You do it well, Bob. All right, so we're finishing up our last couple of things. So Bob, I need you to chop some parsley for me.
Okay.
So what we were doing, just to recap, we're making our own French onion soup, bistro style, with caramelized onions, a veal demi-glaze. We've also added some sherry wine, some bay leaf, and thyme in there. And I'm going to add 2 other ingredients. Now this is going to give it a little bit different. You're probably thinking that big melty cheese thing that you see over the top of soup. Well, no, what I'm going to do, give it a little Alsatian flair, put some apple cider vinegar in here, right? And then, I'll be right back. Bob, how you doing with that?
I'm doing great.
All right. We're going to add some heavy cream to this just to finish it. Just a light finish because there's not enough butter or cream in anything I'm making today. So we'll just put that in there. We'll just kind of give that a stir and let that finish up. What it's going to do, it's going to be pretty amazing because once you start tasting the apple cider vinegar, it's just going to open up everything else. It's like adding lemon to a dish or anything like that. It just brings everything open. And then when you're pairing with the wine, you have to know that's in there because that's going to affect your wine.
Exactly.
Right?
When I'm writing menus for wine dinners, I always ask about acids and fats and proteins. And whenever you have acid in a food, it goes well with wine because the acid in the wine is going to really marry well with that food. Now we also have, with the French onion soup and with the Cocovan, we have very layered foods, a lot of texture. So we have these last 2 wines are perfect pairings with them. The last cru Beaujolais is from the Mouliere cru, which is probably the hardiest cru in terms of aging potential. And the last wine is actually not a George Duboeuf wine. It's from Gévaudan Fleury, and it's from
You said that well, didn't you?
the Crozes Hermitage, which is Northern Rhone, 100% Syrah, very old world, a lot of minerality in that, and it goes with any full-flavored, robust dish.
So what I did is I did our mussels. Now, while we're letting the last 2 finish, I'm going to show you something cool. You ever eaten mussels with mussels before?
Are you mussels? No.
No.
So you use them as the tongs, right?
Yeah, you use them as a little, see, so that's my little fork. When they're out on the boats and they cook the mussels right out of the water, there's no forks around. You eat them right out of there. It's a beautiful way. You have to wait. So you wait your turn. You got some mussels right there. Those will cook perfectly. If I do say so myself, and
So
I
once
did.
they open up, you're ready to go?
Once they're open up, if you see any closed mussels, that's what the ones you don't want to use.
Yep.
Just use all the open mussels. Did I lose my towel anywhere? That's okay. And now let's get that soup in there. We're going to try and get some of that.
Is there another magic towel? Oh, here we go. I got one.
Perfect. Look at that onion soup right there, right? Oh, this is good. And the cream in there kind of gives it whole nother layer of flavor. And then it kind of brings everything together, and that's absolutely wonderful. So we have our soup right there. Let's move that up. Everybody oohing and ahhing about that?
Smells fantastic, Chef.
Yeah. Now, our piece de resistance. I had to use that, again, trying to use the only French I know.
Storm the Bastille.
Let them eat cake.
We're out of expressions.
There you go. We're going to put our braised chicken thighs, probably my favorite food on the entire planet.
So those actually braise for about 15 minutes?
Yeah,
20 minutes?
and you don't have to braise them for a super long time, but they braise just long enough. And then we're going to do, you've heard about a roux, right, Bob? You know what a roux is?
Yes.
Yes?
Butter, flour, or fat flour. Yep.
Kind of cooked together.
Yep.
Now what I'm going to do is basically a beurre, which is a cold roux, which I'm now going to add to my sauce. Now let me get you your own plate. Let me get your own plate of chicken, so this way you have yours. There's mine. Here's yours. Okay, you hold on to that one.
Okay.
And then what I'm going to do is finish off this sauce by just taking the butter and the flour together and and kind of mixing them into the sauce so it thickens a little bit. And now I have all my flavors together. Now, remember, this is red wine reduced down, pearl onions, mushrooms, all these great flavors, and then we just add a little bit of roux to this, or beurre meunier, which is a cold roux. I call it the lazy man's roux. Remember we had the bacon in there too, or the salt pork in there too? That's nice and crispy in there right now. And we'll just get that all together.
And also, in terms of food and wine pairing, that butter is going to give your mouth a much fuller flavor. It's going to get all around the mouth, so you want to make big, full flavored wine as well.
Perfect. Hey, you want to give me some more parsley?
Yes.
Let's finish off with some parsley in here, and we'll get that going. We'll cook this down. Absolutely perfect. So we did our little bistro stroll through France. Not bad, huh?
Not bad.
And you helped me out. It's all about cooking, drinking, having a great time, and that's what the culinary journey is all about. So let's finish that off. Perfect. That'll work. Get my fresh herbs in there. Fresh herbs go in as late as possible because we want to keep those flavors going, especially something like parsley. And then we'll just pop it right over the chicken. Oh, life is good right now.
That looks fantastic.
I can't wait till the cameras stop. Let's get yours in there. And we did it. We created what were considered French masterpieces that should never be touched, and you should do it the old-fashioned way all the time. And we created some amazing variations on them, very quick, so we can enjoy our wine. Bob, thank you to you very much.
Thanks for having me. Thank you, Luca.
It was a pleasure, and we'll see you on our next culinary journey. Cheers.